Hey boo, welcome to episode 5 in our new series of how to create unrealistic results inside of your business so that other people turn their heads and go, what? How did they do that? My name is Brandon Foster. I'm the author of Confident AF, Unleash Your Inner Badass, and I am here to help you fearlessly grow and scale your business. This week we are talking about something really amazing. It's so grounded in science, and it's about what you focus on, you get more of. Now, I feel like a lot of you have probably heard of the law of attraction. That's not what this is. We're actually talking about your RAS filter, which is a filter that you actually have inside of your brain. And I love this because recently I was with some team members. We were at Epcot at Walt Disney World, and one of our team members made it her mission to wish every single person that was wearing a happy birthday button a happy birthday. And what was crazy about this is I never really have that as my mission, so to speak. If I am standing in line waiting for a ride or waiting to get some food and I happen to notice a button, I might wish someone happy birthday, but I'm not actually seeking or looking out for it. And what was crazy is literally every 5 steps, she was wishing happy birthday to somebody else. There were so many people who were wearing birthday buttons. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is a perfect example of an RAS filter. Basically, the way the RAS filter works in your brain is that you tell your brain, hey brain, we're gonna focus on this, and I want you to look for this as much as possible, and I want you to filter out everything else that doesn't match this. And so because her RAS filter, the mission she gave her brain was find everybody with a birthday button, her brain was literally like, there's one over there, there's another one over there, oh look, there's another one. And it was literally crazy because me and the other team member that were with her, we didn't see any of these people wearing buttons. And left and right, happy birthday, oh, happy birthday, oh, happy birthday to you. And so this is why this episode is going to be so powerful, because we're not just talking about anything that is woo-woo. We're talking about real science, how to apply it, what the Bible says about it, and how it can actually really, really, really help you grow your business and get better results than you ever have before. If this was like a Zoom call, I would say, give me a 1 in the chat box and let me know if you're excited about this today. But we're not. So there you go. All right. So the core premise of this week is that your brain will always prove you right. Your brain hates to be wrong. So if you keep focusing on things inside of your life or business that it's not working, your brain will find all the reasons to prove why it's not working. If you want to focus on and think that everything is hard, your brain will find all the reasons of why it's hard. If you are looking for what's missing, your brain will find all the reasons that it's not missing. Basically, you will continue to find evidence of exactly that. By the way, another example, if we go the opposite, so let's shift from the buttons. Have you ever been in the car with a family member or a friend who it's like every time you get in the car with them and they drive, there's always bad drivers and you just seem to attract bad drivers? It's because they think there's bad drivers and there's always bad drivers out there, and so their RAS filter is always finding the bad drivers. It's the same thing on the road, I kid you not. So your brain will always want to prove you right, okay? Now, here's what's important for you to realize. Focus is not neutral. You actually decide and you tell your brain what you actually want it to focus on. So it is directional. It's not neutral. You actually tell it what you want to focus on. Think about people. It's why the Bible always says affirm and believe the best in other people. It's telling you, use your RAS filter to find things to appreciate and love about other human beings. Clearly, we should do more of this. The second thing is what you focus on, because your brain filters it, you grow in your awareness and your belief of that thing. You basically, it's almost like you're creating more of it because you're focused on it and your view of it expands. and your brain will filter out reality based on what you actually expect. So this is also why sometimes things appear really, really, really bad to you when they're not actually that bad, but you've trained your brain to find all the worst. We do this in relationships. We do this in business. We do this in so many areas of our life or our business because of where we put our focus. So here's where most people think. I'll focus on the problems or challenges in my life and my business and I'll fix them. But what actually happens when you decide to do that is you actually reinforce the problems and reinforce the challenges. You lower your energy and you reduce your action. It's kind of like my friend Amanda Francis one time says, if you focus on debt, debt expands because that's where you're focusing on. So you're creating more of it. You're thinking more about it. Your RS filter is debt. But if you focus on overflow, thank you, Amanda Francis. If you focus on overflow and having more than enough and creating more than enough, your brain will actually look for new opportunities, new ways to create overflow. It's amazing. It's amazing how our human brain actually works when you know it and you can use it in a way that it was created to use for good things. So here's the hard truth. If you constantly focus on what's wrong in your life or your business, you will feel stuck even when the opportunities are everywhere. And you know what? You won't see the opportunities. You won't see any of the opportunities. A really good biblical story for this happens in Numbers 13. This is actually when the 12 spies are sent to go look at the promised land. And I'm pretty sure y'all can, if you're a biblical scholar, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that originally it wasn't God's idea to send the spies. I think it was somebody else's idea to actually send the spies and see it. But basically what happens is you have 12 spies. They all come back. And two of the spies, Caleb and Joshua, report that, yep, it's the amazing promised land. It's flowing with milk and honey. And I want to insert a boo there, but they probably did not say boo. But the land is flowing with milk and honey, boo. Let's go. Let's go to our promised land. Let's go to the land that God promised us. It's everything he said it would be. And the other 10 are like, whoa, hold up. Yeah, there's milk and honey. Yeah, it's an abundant land. But did you see the giants? Hello? Do you want us to die? There was nothing that we knew about the promised land being filled with giants. No, we don't want to die. So basically, same land, same opportunity, same promise, but two completely different perspectives. And if you've been listening to my podcast or watching my YouTube for a while, you know one of my favorite Dr. John DeMartini quotes is there's only three things you can control inside of your business: perceptions, decisions, and actions. Actions are determined by decisions. Decisions are determined by perceptions. So their perceptions were very, very, very different. And 10 of the spies focus on the giants, the obstacles, and the fear that they had. The other two spies, Caleb and Joshua, focus on possibility, promise, and provision. Nothing about the situation was different. Nothing about the circumstances was different. It was their focus that changed what they believed, their perceptions. And that focus determined who moved forward and who stayed stuck. Ironically, the 10 people who did not believe died and never inherited the promised land. Whereas the two spies who did believe in the promised land not only entered the promised land 40 years later, but when they entered the promised land, they had the same youth that they had when they originally saw it. So, two people can look at the very same situation inside of their business. One sees it, oh my gosh, huge challenge. This isn't working. What am I going to do? The other person sees, this is working, but we can improve it. This is how we can make it better, and let's build on it. Huge difference. I remember when I was working with a lot of newbies and they were starting YouTube channels, or not even just YouTube channels, just social media. And I remember one person had just gotten their second YouTube subscriber, and you would have thought that that person had gotten like 20,000 or 40,000 followers on YouTube. They were so excited about the YouTube followers. And the reason why is because they had a right perception of it, that was growth. And that's what they wanted to see. They wanted to see more YouTube subscribers. So they were so excited. They were so grateful. They were so, over the moon hyped up that they had another YouTube subscriber. Whereas I remember somebody else along the same lines, out of the gate, they had 22, and they were like, you would have thought someone had died. They were like, I only have 22. It's like, but you had 0 to begin with. And that's like 11 times what this other person has, and it's so interesting because the other person created so much more momentum inside of their business because of the belief and the perception that they had, which they wouldn't allow the situation or circumstance to derail them. It's so, so powerful. So as I've been mentioning, I'm talking about the RAS filter. So the RAS filter is known as the reticular activating system. And this is a part of your brain that filters millions of pieces of information and decides what gets your attention. And here's how it works. Your brain can literally not process everything. If you want to try this, a great exercise for you to do, and I'm going to do a reel or a short video about this, but if you were to take a bag of M&Ms, doesn't matter if it's plain or if it's peanut or if it is peanut butter, it doesn't matter what kind of M&Ms it is, but grab a bag of M&Ms, pour out the M&Ms, and look for all of the green colored M&Ms, and then look for all of the blue colored M&Ms. It's a great exercise in your RAS filter because your brain cannot process everything at once. So it looks for what is important to you, what you are focusing on, and what you expect. So if you have the bag of M&Ms and you're looking for the green ones, you literally will not see the red, the yellow, the blue. Like, I know that your eyes will see them, quote unquote, but you'll be focused on that one color and you'll see those over everything else because you're filtering everything else out. It's fascinating. And then you can switch to the other color. Do this with your kids. Get some M&Ms, have a snack. This is not sponsored or endorsed by M&Ms at all, or Mars Company. I think they're the ones that own it. But you should totally try it. It's the same thing like you buy a new car or buy a car, and all of a sudden you see the same car everywhere you go all of a sudden, okay? Suddenly it's everywhere. It's not because it increased and all of a sudden those cars multiplied. It's because your brain is filtering everything out, and now it's finding all the cars. By the way, a more humorous example, when you are single and you want to, I was going to say mingle, when you want to be in a relationship and you see all the married people, all the couples, it's because your brain is focused on all the people that are couples. It's the same thing. Interesting. I just put that together live in front of all of you. So if you focus on your problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on opportunities, you'll see more opportunities. You see more room for growth, you will see more room for growth. You see how things are working, you're going to find more things to work. By the way, this is why one of my favorite prayers to ask God is say, God, please show me where your love is in my life and my business right now. God, please show me what I have to be grateful for. God, please show me where all the opportunities that I'm not seeing inside of my business. You're basically asking God to use your human RAS filter for things that will bring you more joy, more love, gratitude, and positive momentum inside of your business. It's really, really cool. So your brain, the other thing, your brain has what's called a confirmation bias. So confirmation bias is basically your brain is wired to look for evidence that actually supports your beliefs, which is ironic because that's basically my entire job role with my mastermind clients is they have all these beliefs and they can find evidence of all the reasons why those beliefs are true. And my job is to pick every single one of those apart and be like, yeah, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. That's your confirmation bias. Yeah, that's not true. And I basically help them to choose new beliefs so that they can have a better, easier, more grace, more abundant business. How I put it like this. It's how to increase sales, attract higher level clients without reinventing the wheel or doing 10 times more work is like the marketing speak for it. And basically, I am retraining them to use their confirmation bias to something that is supportive to what they want to see and what they want to create inside of their business. It's amazing how that happens. So if you believe something is hard, you're going to find proof that it's hard. If you believe something is going to take a long time, you will find reasons of why it's going to take a long time. If you believe that you can't do it, you'll find all the reasons why you can't do it. If you believe it's not working, you'll find all the reasons of why it's not working. So the reality is you're constantly reinforcing your own reality. This is why a lot of people get stuck inside of their business. It's why a lot of people don't experience massive and crazy change inside of their business. It's also why a lot of relationships disintegrate, is because we have confirmation bias toward human beings. We have confirmation bias towards certain people. So even if they are changing or striving to be different or to improve, we want to be right. So we will look for all the reasons why they are what they are. And then, of course, you have the emotional reinforcement loop too, which is when you focus on something, it creates an emotion. And that emotion drives your behavior, and that behavior creates your results. And so if your focus is on frustration, well, you're going to hesitate. And if you focus on possibility and positive expectation, you're going to act. So your focus is not just what you see inside of your life or your business, boo. Your focus is really what you feel, and it leads to what you actually do next. Now, this is why I believe there's that verse in Philippians 4:8 that says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever pure, whatever is lovely, dwell and think on these things. This is not just, positive thinking. This is intentional focused training to use your RS filter to see and perceive good. God is literally instructing you, hey, boo, what to focus on, how to think, and what to dwell on, because it shapes everything else that follows. So if you are a solopreneur and you are alone building your business right now your focus might be, this isn't working, or this is hard, or this is taking a long time. And I want you to start training your brain to look for the actual opposite of what is not helping you build more momentum inside of your business. So start looking for what is working, how things are easy, how they can be easier, where there is traction, where there is momentum. Look for new opportunities, okay? And here's what I want you to do. At the end of each day, I want you to write down 3 things that worked, 3 wins, and 3 pieces of evidence that you're moving forward and things are working inside of your business. 3 things that worked, 3 wins, and 3 pieces of evidence that you're moving forward inside of your business. Now, if you are an entrepreneur with a small team, teams often default to problems and meetings, fixing what's broken, and focusing on gaps. So I want you to balance problem solving with momentum building. So in your team meetings, I want you to start with wins, highlight progress, and address improvements, okay? Huge. It's going to help you so much to create a different level of momentum with your team toward the goals that you're trying to create inside of your business. Now, if you're a scaling leader, your focus sets the emotional tone and the vision of the entire company. So if you focus on the problems, your team's going to feel all the pressure. If you focus on progress, your team's going to build confidence. So you're not just solving problems, boo. You are directing attention to solutions. So I want you to audit your communication this week. And as you audit your communication, I want you to ask yourself, are you reinforcing the problems, or are you building momentum? Okay? And use that as a reflective tool to help you in your leadership. Now, your brain, as we said, is always watching what you focus on and saying, got it, this must be important. Let me show you more of it, more of it, more of it. So it's going to find what you're looking for, and it will amplify it for you. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't know if it's good or bad. You assign meaning anyway, but it will amplify it and reinforce it. So, boo, if you want different results in your business starting today, don't start with a better strategy. I want you to start with a better focus. Focus on what's working. Focus on opportunities. Focus on solutions. Focus on things to be grateful for. Focus on how God is moving and helping you inside of your business. Focus on the right things, not the wrong things. The right things will create right beliefs, right emotions, right decisions, right actions, and right progress inside of your business. And here's the cool thing. once you train your brain on what to focus on and to focus on what's possible, the next thing you get to do is let go of the idea that something is impossible. This is going to dovetail into next week's episode as we continue how to create unrealistic results inside of your business and make people's heads turn and go, what? How did they do that? Boom. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on podcasts, leave a helpful review and share with other badass business owners who are growing and scaling their business who could use some encouragement too. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful you're here.